Good day, my name is Angelo. This is Nation Voice Tower, your most preferred YouTube channel. How have we been? As for we over here, we've been doing perfectly alright. Lots of mysteries are being revealed in the Nigerian political space. And this time around, I would love to call out people who are involved. But before we go further, it's no longer news that the president jetted out for the United Arab Emirates 3 days ago for a summit. Okay, and this summit was allegedly or was supposedly taking place at in Abu Dhabi in the UAE. All right, now his pictures have gone viral online and offline, and we've seen how he was isolated, somebody blocking his view, and everything. All right, that should tell you that even the world doesn't really recognize Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu as duly elected president of Nigeria. Why? Because of maybe the process that made him emerge as president, all right? And over time, he has shown lack of competence in his duty, all right? And if there was a way the rubber stamp Senate, the 10th Senate or the 10th Assembly could pass a vote of no confidence on him, they will have done that long ago. But nonetheless, different presidents have come and we've recorded lots of losses of public funds over time. To that effect, I'm going to be exposing how Nigeria has lost over $18 billion to illicit financial crimes yearly or annually. This particular expose is so special. Why? Because you will now see the amounts of money or millions of dollars or billions of dollars that go down the drain annually from IFFs. When I say IFFs, I mean internet financial fraud. All right. Now, these crimes are always on the rise because unemployment is on the rise, a high standard of living is on the rise, the economic crunch is eating up the country, and almost everything is having one or two lapses. In fact, the recent hike in fuel pump price that was brought about by the abrupt removal of fuel subsidy by Bola Ahmed Tinubu has been the talk of the day, and we cannot overemphasize this particular fact. But I would tell you that when you listen to this expose, you will now categorize the billions of funds that go down the drain annually and know where these funds go out from. Okay, now the executives and the legislator and the judiciary, these three arms of government, play a very vital role in safeguarding not just the financial aspect of Nigeria, but all other aspects, all right? But they have failed us over time, and that is why we thought it wise to bring to limelight this particular expose. A non-governmental organization, the Anti-Corruption Agencies of Nigeria, has disclosed that every year in Nigeria, almost $18 billion is lost to illicit financial crimes like bribery, internet fraud, and non-payment of taxes. It also said each Nigerian loses the equivalent of 35,000 naira yearly because of financial crimes. This money, according to the group, could be used to build roads, establish world-class health and education systems, and create jobs for Nigerians. The group is part of a campaign funded by the British government to deter financial criminals and encourage communities to report illicit financial crimes. 9 government organizations, including the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission (EFCC), Independent Corrupt Practices Commission (ICPC), and the Federal Inland Revenue Service (FIRS), have joined forces with the media and civil society to design and launch the Protect What's Yours campaign. This campaign allegedly existed lots of moments from now, but it is still in existence and being followed by members of this commission. The group said the campaign encourages Nigerians to recognize financial crime, understand how harmful it is to the economy, and then join others who are standing up to financial criminals by reporting it to the relevant authorities. Every year, thousands of people, according to the spokesperson of these groups in Nigeria, are arrested for committing financial crimes. It is hoped that this campaign will reduce criminal activity even further. Illicit financial flows, IFFs, according to the Independent Corrupt Practices Commission (ICPC), are illegal movements of money or capital from one country to another for various reasons. Major sources of these funds are proceeds of corruption, theft, bribery, criminal activities such as drug trafficking, smuggling and commercial activities such as tax evasion, trade misinvoicing, and so on. IFFs have affected Nigeria in various ways, including loss of revenue, underdevelopment, poor infrastructure, and healthcare, amongst others. The drain on resources and tax revenues caused by IFFs blocks the expansion of basic social services and infrastructure programs that are targeted at improving the well-being and capacities of all citizens, particularly the very poor. In Nigeria and other developing countries, IFFs and other money-related criminal activities mean fewer hospitals, schools, police, roads, and job opportunities. Other forms of illicit finance are instances where people offer bribes or use the proceeds of the bribe to launder money or engage in internet fraud. All right, I had a friend that once told me that civil society organizations, this should make it 2 months ago, I heard this statement. He said civil society organizations and other groups that have risen over time for protests and press conferences are actually the ones holding Nigeria down, or let me say holding Nigeria from going into extinction this time around. Yes, I would agree with him from a part, because forget the fact that some of these groups that come out to grant unusual press conferences have already been paid for it, and they are granting these press conferences in respect and to play according to the tune of their masters or their pay masters, all right? But aside that, there are lots of CSOs and there are lots of groups that are very, very strong, standing for the truth, transparency, competence, and capability, okay? And that is the more reason why I feel they were absolutely correct. But it's shocking me that these groups are partnering with various anti-graft agencies like the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, EFCC, and the Independent Corrupt Practices Commission, ICPC, as well as the FIRS, all right? Now, don't forget that during the Godwin Emefiele case, before he was granted bail, although he's yet to meet his bail conditions of 300 million naira, according to news reaching our table a few days ago, all right? During his trial, or during the course of the investigation, let me not say trial, because he's yet to be tried duly, all right? There were hands pointing at the fact that the Obaze-led investigative team of accountants called out the FIRS for some inconsistent transactions and some irreconcilable transactions that took place between themselves and other central bank affiliated parastatals, okay? And then Godwin Emefiele and the heads of these agencies were involved. But this time around, I feel that I want to call, or I want to place a very, very long waking call to these agencies, the EFCC, the ICPC, and the FIRS. Come up and do what you normally do and defend that particular objective you normally stand for. That is when we will say the country is working. Not when the EFCC, ICPC, the DSS, and even the National Assembly, the 10th Assembly, is paying allegiance to an illegitimate president. All right. Now, that is that on that particular update. I would like to talk on the off-cycle elections in Kogi State. Now, over time, the election results have been announced, and of course, Chief or Alhaji Usman Ododo has emerged, of the APC, has emerged the winner of the gubernatorial elections in Kogi State. All right. Now, the PDP gubernatorial candidate in the state, Senator Dino Daniel Melaye, has played down the possibilities of him taking the matter further, okay, because people urged him to go to court since he lost and since he was convinced that there was a high level of foul play, electoral irregularities, and all that in these particular off-cycle elections. But in this particular interview, Dino Melaye has said he doesn't feel comfortable going to the courts, not just because the courts are now paid or now give judgments based on pocket gratifications, but according to Dino Melaye, the aftermath of the off-cycle elections has been so disastrous, and he will be very myopic, according to him, porous and intellectually stagnant to go to court. Dino Melaye doesn't see the importance of going to court at this time around. Maybe he feels that the powers that be are more than his own powers. Please, state in for Dino Daniel Melaye, PDP gubernatorial candidate, Kogi State.
It will make no sense going to court. I will be myopic, porous, and intellectually stagnant to go to court, because the court today in Nigeria is the bane of our development, is the bane of our democracy. What we see in courts today show that for democracy that is supposed to be, the courts that is supposed to be the last hope of the masses, as actually now the last tormentor of the common man. I have examples. For example, what happened in Kano? Why would I go to court when the judgment read in court is different from the certified true copy of what was given? And shamelessly, stupidly, the appeal court came out and said that is clerical error. They said it's clerical error. I don't know if the definition of clerical error changed, because the 3 paragraphs that became contentious, there were no spelling errors. So what is the meaning of clerical errors? Because there were no typing errors, there were no spelling errors. So you now also begin to ask yourself, Labour Party just came out 2 days ago to say that they have no judgment. And Supreme Court is telling them that no, your judgment is in Atiku's own. You know? So, and Labour Party cried out. And we all in this country, we knew that Labour Party went as a party. PDP went as a party. And there was never a time during the case that these 2 cases were consolidated. I'm a graduate of law. And the primary thing in law is that when you raise questions for determination in your case, it becomes mandatory, it becomes paramount, it becomes compulsory, it becomes obligatory for the court to answer those questions. But in this case, you are telling them that the questions have not been answered. For example, Labour, one of the questions or one of the issues that was raised in their submission is that how did the photograph of a woman appear on the server of INEC instead of result sheets? That question was never answered, and the Supreme Court know that they cannot answer that question without creating what we call in law precedents, negative precedents. So they refuse to answer it. So why will Melai Daniel Dino or any responsible Nigerian go to court with the kind of courts we have? Look at the gradual usurpation of the states won by PDP by the courts, where the majority have decided on the field. 7 people, 5 people in the case of Court of Appeal will sit down and upturn the popular mandate of the people. See what is happening in Plateau. See what is happening in Kaduna. See what is happening in Nasarawa. See what happened in Kano. With this type of cash and carry judicial practice, why would anybody go to court? Because the courts have become a parastatal of the APC. So they boastfully on television during their campaigns, boast about it. Right,
welcome back. Dino Melai trying to play, let me say, wise. Yes, he's trying to play wise there. Why? Because he has lost the elections. I don't want to say he lost it landslide, but whatever happened in Kogi State during the off-cycle elections, Dino Melai has lost. And right now, he's just trying to play the victim and trying to play the victim by not going to court. If you know you're right, go to court. Of course, the court has no use because the court will finally do what their paymasters ask them to do. So kudos to Dino Melai for realizing at this point that going to court is a total waste of time. Finally, I have noticed over time that the 3 arms of government, talking about the executives, the legislature, and the judiciary, have actually dealt a blow to our constitution. All right. Now, according to Sam Amadi, Arise News analyst and the director of the Abuja School of Thought, he feels that these 3 arms of government have served or have emerged as a threat to the constitution over time instead of defending the same constitution, because they have made it look like an inconvenience by passing operations that they have undertaken, in representing and in interpreting the law over time. Lots of unconstitutional occurrences has happened in this administration, and Sam Amadi feels different about all these occurrences. Please stay tuned.
They are not because they benefit not the state, not governance, but personally. So they get to exercise control, they get to determine their allocations and how it's spent. But again, the question is, why have we persisted in this very evident breach of the Constitution? We've come to a point where both the legislature, the judiciary, executive, kind of everybody treats the Constitution as an inconvenience that is dispensable. So we just push it away. Whether we are judges looking over cases, we say constitutional provision, we gloss over the National Assembly. So first, it should be clearly unconstitutional. Section 7 of Part 1 of the Constitution says that the local government, through democratic election, is guaranteed.
Underscore that word.
And went further to say, therefore, states can make laws. So states make laws to provide for a constitutionally guaranteed local government system. It provides in subsection 4 also how National Assembly can make laws to provide for the revenue. So first thing is the Constitution prohibits local government that is not elected. 2, every other law you make or movement of the National Assembly of local government flows from the fact that it is a democratic, just like you can't have any state in Nigeria that's not democratically elected government managing it. It's unconstitutional state. So appropriations, whether in terms of the ones by the National Assembly to the revenue or the ones that the Constitution has provided for, are all only for democratically elected local government. So very simple to do.
All right then. In that case,
the federal government has no obligation. In fact, it's unconstitutional to continue to allocate local government funds to unelected local governments. It's a breach of the Constitution. And so if I was Attorney General, I would advise Mr. President, I print issues instruction to Accountant General of the Federation, and they will withhold forthwith every such allocation and keep it in custody for local governments that are elected. So you can't have any fund allocated. It's unconstitutional. So the fact that we do it, and of course because of this lack of respect for Constitution. So you can be sure that constitutionally every local government is not elected, whether by virtue of the dissolution, it's already unconstitutional.
It's illegal.
Yeah.
All right. That was Sam Amadi trying to make the truth clear. All right. Yes. There have been lots of, well, I would say there have been lots of inconsistencies in decision making, policy, policy support, and passing of bills, interpretation of laws and the Constitution, as well as other, malfeasance that has been coming from the high table in Abuja since Bola Tinubu took over government. All right, this should serve as a massive call placed to the executives, the judiciary, and the legislature to please work according to what they know and work according to truth, transparency, competence, and capability, because that is the main aspect of governance in a country as vast as Nigeria. All right, this brings me to the disturbing video that was all about members of the combined chambers, of the hallowed chambers in the National Assembly, singing a song of allegiance to Bola Ahmed Tinubu yesterday. That was absurd, but we'll work on that because we will see where this 10th Assembly would all take us to. Thank you so much for staying this far. Please like, share our videos. Don't forget to drop a comment for us in the comment section. If you're watching me for the first time, please tap the subscribe button as well as the notification bell so that you get to see me promptly when I drop a new update. Wouldn't you love that? Doing all this makes YouTube make us go viral to serve you better. See you next time. Bye.